Good Wednesday morning and welcome to another episode of Upper Michigan Today. It's October 1st. It's my birthday fiscal period. And John, it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
It is.
If you drive past US 41 during the dark hours, you'll notice TV6 has some pink lights up for awareness. A lot of folks might be wearing pink throughout the month of October. But Breast Cancer Awareness Month is so much more than just showing off that pink power. It's about talking about resources that are available. It's about the importance of early detection and taking care of yourself, knowing what some of those signs and symptoms are of breast cancer. So I know it doesn't just affect women either.
Yeah. Yeah, it also, I mean, honestly, it impacts everybody, you know, because anybody who goes through it, their family is also impacted as well. You know, you don't want to see your family member have to go through that type of treatment, go through that type of issue. So it does impact, it impacts everybody. And about, you know, there are about 10,000 cases yearly, you know, 130 cases per 100,000 women.
Yeah, we'll get more to those some more statistics in a moment, but here's what's coming up on today's show and what you can expect throughout this episode. So awareness and resources. We will be learning about the Superior Health Foundation's Breast Health Fund, the Paint the Peninsula Pink campaign, and various cancer care services throughout the Upper Peninsula. And it does matter because, like you just mentioned, about 10,000 new cases are detected yearly just in the state of Michigan alone, and that's about 130 cases per 100,000 women. And something that I found in doing my research this morning is that about 75% of cases that are detected during the early stages. That's a good thing because with early detection comes a greater opportunity of beating it.
Yeah, you don't want to have to, like I said earlier, you don't want to have to go through it, but if you do, it's great that you get it in the early stages. And apparently many women don't even experience symptoms of breast cancer. I mean, honestly, personally, I don't really know what the symptoms are of breast cancer, but there is, but I know that is common that people don't really know, like, oh, like I may have that situation. So.
And I know we just talked about some of these statistics, but we can put them up on your screen right now so that you can see them as we continue this conversation. But many women don't even experience symptoms, and that is why it's so important to get yearly mammograms, to do regular self-checks, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, it's really important that you know it's important that you do get checked because you know mammograms matter. You know, this topic matters. It's very important that people know the resources that they have in their area, especially somewhere in the Upper Peninsula where apparently it's a rural area. You know, knowing where your stuff is at, it matters where you are at, and you know, doing some extra research, you know, on mammograms, you know, according to the, you know, U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, is recommended to start screenings at 40 years old and annual screenings from age 45 to 55, and then switching to every 2 years at age 55 plus. So that's something that, you know, people should really know about. And of course, on top of that, you know, women at a higher risk for women who, you know, have history of breast cancer in their family, you know, may need to start getting checked early, maybe even as early as the age of 30. So it's definitely something that, you know, it's a topic that needs to be talked about for sure.
I mean, it really does, because apparently, according to the American Cancer Society, actually when breast cancer is detected early and is in the localized stage, the 5-year relative survival rate is 99%. So that really, I feel like, encapsulates the importance of early detection. Early detection is done by knowing your risk factors, getting your yearly mammograms, doing self-checks. Some of those risk factors, well, before we go on to those, that link that we just saw on the screen had some really great resources for early detection. But talking about some of those risk factors, some of them include just genetic factors like having a certain gene, having a family history, but some of them are lifestyle factors as well. So if you take a look at your screen, these come from Michigan.gov. Increasing age, so as you get older, the chances of you developing breast cancer get greater. If you started menstruating at an early age, that is a risk factor. Never having given birth or having a pregnancy over the age of 30, having dense breast tissue, physical inactivity, obesity after menopause, drinking alcohol, apparently 2 or more drinks per day, that is considered a risk factor for breast cancer.
Wow, I honestly did not know any of this, but as somebody looking from the outside in, because I know that it really impacts women, it's good that as a man I know these situations as well, so that, you know, when I'm with my partner, you know, I know like, hey, you know, we're at that age where breast cancer is a thing. You know, even if you don't have it in your family, I know at the back of my head, we're at that age. We need to make sure we watch what we eat, watch what we drink. You need to make sure that, you know, we're staying active, things like that, just to make sure that we're keeping the risk lowered so that we don't necessarily have that issue, you know, in the long run. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, with, you know, getting screenings in a rural area, you know, some people may not know where to go. So, you know, they have screenings at UPHS Marquette, the location in Hancock as well, and in Escanaba. And they, another one that I saw as well was Schoolcraft Memorial Hospital. They do screenings there as well. So just a little locations, depending on where you're at, where you're watching us at. If you're in those areas, then now you know that those are some locations around the UP that do screenings as well.
And really throughout this episode, we are going to be talking about resources, funds available, because we know that healthcare up here can be limited. It can be hard to access for various reasons. So this show is all about support for the people that do experience breast cancer, survivors of breast cancer, people that are actively going through therapy for the disease. So I think we should take our first commercial break of the show, and when we come back, we will be chatting with the Superior Health Foundation and the Marquette County Health Department about its Breast Health Fund, the ways that you can access it, and how you can support it as well. Stay with us.